What's up guys, it's Chris Majestic, and just a few months ago I reviewed the BenQ TK850. Well, apparently BenQ has been cranking out 4K projectors like crazy, because today we have the TK850, which is basically the successor to the TK800M. So what is this? Well, priced around $1,700, is basically a brighter version of the HT3550, which was my favorite projector priced under $2,000 in 2019. And if you saw my review of the HT3550, then you'll notice that this has the same exact design, except it has a blue face instead of bronze. Alright, so in the box you get your typical accessories, including a 10-foot power cord, backlit remote, batteries for the remote, and a quick start guide. I'm a big fan of this compact design, and weighing less than 10 pounds makes it easier to ceiling mount or travel with. And the back has the same ports as the HT3550, including a 12-volt trigger, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, stereo and optical out, and a USB port that can be used to play media or to upgrade the firmware, so there's no more need to send it into BenQ for a firmware update. And you still get the manual focus and zoom dials on top, as well as a few buttons. So as far as specs and features, the TK850 is pretty much identical to the HT3550 with the exception of the color wheel and brightness. So it still has the dynamic iris, lens shift, HDR10 and HLG support, motion enhancement, dual 5-watt internal speakers, and the ability to project a 100-inch screen from just over 8 feet away. So where does the TK850 fall in BenQ's slew of recent 4K projectors? Well, all of these are certified 4K projectors that produce an extremely sharp image that's really close to the much more expensive 4K projectors. And if you haven't noticed, with every new BenQ projector release, there's a cinematic color version and a brighter version. So the latest color accurate version is the HT3550, which uses an RGB color wheel and produces 2000 lumens of brightness. This is great for a dedicated home theater where you can control the light in the room and you want the best looking, vibrant, color accurate image you can get. And the bright or living room version is the TK850, which uses an RGBW color wheel and is the successor to the TK800M. So this is for a room that has a moderate amount of ambient light, like a living room or a game room, since it can produce up to 3000 lumens. Out of the box, it comes in sport mode, and this mode provides a nice balance between brightness and color accuracy, even though it does have a slightly cooler color temperature. The sharpness from this projector looks fantastic, and I had less trouble getting good focus across the entire screen than I have with previous BenQ 4K projectors, thanks to the new lens design. So as I mentioned earlier, this projector isn't really meant for a dark room, so if you plan on buying this for a home theater, then you should note that the color accuracy when compared to the HT3550 is noticeable. And this is because the RGBW color wheel on this projector lets in more white light while producing slightly less accurate color. So for example, certain shades of orange might look a little weird since the color wheel struggles a bit with producing this color, but what's awesome is that they drastically improve the Scion performance, so the Majestic's wallpaper in the background of my videos looks way better than it did on some of BenQ's older RGBW projectors. Now with that being said, you can tweak this projector to get more accurate color than you get out of the box, as long as you don't mind sacrificing some brightness. Now I'll leave the high level calibration up to the pros, but one easy way to improve the color accuracy and sacrifice a little brightness is to adjust the brilliant color setting. Turning brilliant color down will actually improve the color a bit. Now as I said, it does affect the brightness, but you can play around with this setting to see what suits your taste. Overall, I do like the improvements to the color wheel, and it's nice that they give you some calibration settings so you can customize it if you're picky about color. And as far as black levels, they are noticeably better than the TK800M thanks to the dynamic iris. Now I did find that the dynamic iris was a bit too distracting at its highest level, but setting it to middle made for a nice balance between better blacks and noticeable dimming. And the HDR performance is good. Again, the colors don't look nearly as good as the HT3550, but the added brightness definitely helps the image pop. And the gaming performance on this projector is decent, even though some hardcore gamers might notice the input lag over 70 milliseconds. It's not the worst input lag we've seen, but it would have been nice to see better numbers. That being said, the games do look good on it, and as long as you're not into fast-paced critical gaming, it should be fine. And as far as fan noise, it's about average. You can definitely hear it, but it wasn't too distracting when watching a movie or a show. Now, it does produce quite a bit of heat, so you definitely want to make sure the vents have plenty of clearance. Overall, the TK850 is a worthy successor to the TK800M. The improved color wheel, lens, and addition of dynamic iris makes for an incredibly sharp and bright image in a living room. Even with an RGBW color wheel, it's still capable of producing good color and gives a good amount of flexibility if you need a projector in a room that's less than ideal for a projector. The only negative things I can say is that I would have liked to see a price closer to the HT3550 and for it to have better input lag, but it's still a great option for people who need a bright and sharp projector. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, go ahead and make sure you mash that like button for me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.